Well, hi there everyone, FarmSim Gamer here, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all keeping well. We're back on Calmsden Farm again, and today I'm going to take a little look at the new feature in Courseplay of using forage wagons and how that, coupled with Autodrive, can help you get your grass in off the field and into one of these bunker silos without breaking too much of a sweat. So stick around and I'll show you how to do it. So we're going to be using both Courseplay and Autodrive today. Now the Courseplay stuff is fairly straightforward, and I will take you through kind of some of the setups when we're in field with the various implements. The Autodrive stuff is a little bit more complex, and I must say it's taken me a little bit of time to get my head around it. But now that I have, it's a fairly intuitive kind of bit of tool to use, and kind of fairly straightforward. Now, if you haven't used Autodrive at all before, then I would strongly recommend maybe going and checking out the FarmSim Guy's Beginner's Guide to Autodrive. That'll get you on the straight and narrow and give you all the kind of basics and understanding of how to kind of set up courses, link various bits together and do waypoints and all that sort of stuff. So go and check that video out if you haven't started using Autodrive. What I am going to do, however, is run through the course that I've set up today in order to be able to do this tutorial. So the first thing I'm going to do in Autodrive is create a fairly simple kind of route on the roads around the cow farm here at Calmsden. So I'm going to press Alt and 0 to bring up the Autodrive menu. I'm going to just click on my kind of scroll button in the middle to bring up my cursor, and then I'm going to click on that little triangle that's down in the bottom right hand corner, and that brings up some additional options on the menu that you can see here, which gives me the ability to be able to record the course and do waypoints and things like that. Now the first thing I need to do is just very quickly go and check in the user settings in Autodrive that I've got the line height set to above tractor. Now this is quite important because when I go to record, so I'll just click that triangle again, hit the record button, you'll see that the little icon for the nodes appears above the tractor. If you don't have it set above, it goes on the road and sometimes it's not that easy to kind of see those little nodes. So I'm going to drive forward here. I'm going to do a fairly simple route that goes down to the bottom of the road here. I'm going to hang a right. I'm going to follow the road round, turn right again, and then come back on myself to where the cow farm is. Okay, so we're back at the bale sheds. We're just coming around the corner and you'll see the start point coming up any minute. So I'm just going to drive up to that. And once I've got to that, I'm going to be able to press my left-hand mouse button. I'll press the or click on the last node that I've created just there, and then I'll click forward to the next one. You'll see them both turn blue, and then I will join those two together. So that's the simple little loop that I've created around the farm. Now the next thing I'm going to do is create another little route or a loop that goes down the track here down to field 10, which is where we're going to do our grass work today. So I'm going to hit that record button again. I'm going to drive down the track, and then when we get into field 10 down the bottom, I will create a little waypoint or add a target there and do a bit of a loop and then come back on myself. So now we're just coming into the field. I'm just going to kind of pull up here. Now because this is a grass field, I don't mind kind of driving on it and making a bit of a loop. So I'm going to press this little icon that's third along. I'm going to add the target name, field 10, or the waypoint, and then I'm simply going to drive around in a little loop and go back on myself, go back out through the gate, up the track, back to where we started from. So now that I've reached the top of the track where we started from, I'll just ease slightly off to one side. Those start point and stop point are slightly separated. And now I need to join these 2 points to the existing track. So I'm going to stop recording, and then I am going to hold my, click my kind of the stop point there that turns blue, and then I'm going to hover over the next point, and I'm going to use my little scroll wheel on my mouse to create this nice sort of gentle curve to connect the two. And once I've done that, I can then click my left button on my mouse to connect those two, and I'm going to do exactly the same for the in point as well. So on the right hand side, I'm going to click on that node so it goes blue. I'm going to hover over the start point node, and I'm going to use my scroll button again to kind of create that nice curve, and then I'll click my left button to connect it. Okay, so that's those two main routes done, and you can see that I've done another little one just off on the side here going to the farm silo, which I've called Farm 2 Silo. Next up, I need to do a separate little course that reverses back into the bunker silo. So I'm going to head down the road here, and then when I stop, I can start reversing. Don't need to do anything specific to record the reverse. There isn't anything that I have to do. It will just kind of record that naturally. And I've kind of sped this up a little bit just because it took me a little bit of time just to kind of record this to get it sort of fairly accurately. So I'm going to reverse into the bunker silo here, and I'll just show you very quickly what to do when you kind of record the waypoint here, because it will record it where the tractor position is. So I do need to make a bit of a subtle adjustment, but I've done it with the forage wagon on to make sure that I kind of recorded reversing up correctly. So now that I've done that, I stop recording. I've gone to create that target or add that waypoint. I've called it silage clamp cows, and I'm just going to drive forward. So as you can kind of see, that waypoint is kind of sitting fairly forward. So using my right hand mouse button and just clicking and holding over each of those nodes, I'm able to kind of drag them back and move them out of position. So I'm going to nudge them back a little bit, sort of fairly close to the back of the silage bunker there. And then hopefully when the trailer reverses in, it'll be the back of the trailer that hits that waypoint rather than sort of being fairly forward where it was originally. Now the last thing I need to do is I'm going to back into the bunker silo. I'm going to hit that record button again, and then I'm going to create another route that goes back out of the bunker silo down the road, and I will connect that to the route that goes down to field 10. So now that I pull up, just do the last node there, and then again I'm going to use my stop recording. I'm going to use my left button to connect those two routes together, and then the last thing I need to do is just connect the start point on the main route that I did around the farm to the route that goes into the bunker silo. And then lastly, I also just need to connect the silage clamp cows waypoint to that route that goes back out of the bunker silo. Right, now the moment of truth. So I've brought up the menu again. I've clicked that little triangle so you can kind of see the routes, and I've selected silage clamp cows, and I've hit the little start button just to set him off underway, and we'll test to see if this kind of works all right. So hopefully he'll trundle down the road a little bit. He'll get to the place in which I stopped, and then hopefully he will start to reverse back into the bunker silo. There we go. Reversing lights have come on, so that's all good. And then we'll watch him kind of reverse round, and then hopefully you will kind of see where I moved that waypoint for the silage clamp back towards the kind of the rear end of that clamp. That the trailer will kind of reverse nicely up to that, which will kind of be the tipping point. So there you can kind of see it there. So yep, he's stopped, not right at the very back, but enough room to be able to do the grass. Now I've selected field 10 and I've hit the start button again, and now he's going to go off down the road, turn into the track, and head off down the track to field 10. So I'll just make sure that he goes past the connection point here. Yeah, there we go, that's great. Okay, so that seems to be working all okay. Now I need to go and get some grass cut. Okay, so we've got our Massey down here with our class mower. So the first thing I need to do is just make sure that I have got the swath mode, dropping swath mode on. Just so I can use my control Y to make sure that that's the right setting. And then I'm just going to pop into kind of Courseplay. So I'll go down to create job. The target position is already created by the tractor. You can kind of see the route around the field there, so that's all okay. So I need to go to course generator and just run through the settings. So 10 meter mower, I'm going to nudge that down to 9.9. We've only got one single tool, 3 headland trips. We'll do smooth on the corners, and I'll bump the headland overlap up to 20% just to make sure that we kind of don't miss too much. Everything else I think is absolutely fine. So I will generate the field course, and that should kind of pop up in the field any second. There we go. And now that I've come out of that, the one thing that I do need to do is go into the course manager and make sure that I save this. So I've created a folder for field 10. So I'll save and activate, and I'll name this class mower 10 meters. and I'll click OK. There you can see it's up in the course interaction kind of side of the screen, so that's all good. And now all I need to do is just click to bring up the Courseplay menu, select first waypoint, hit the little play button, and he should start. So it looks like the first waypoint is slightly behind us. There you can see just at the bottom of the screen. So he'll find that and then kind of get underway, and then hopefully this will kind of work all right, and we'll be able to sort of leave him just to cut the grass, and then I'll be able to kind of get the forage wagon sorted out. I've just realised actually, or just remembered that on this class mower, when you select the swath dropping, it actually only creates a swath behind each kind of gang of mowers. So one for the front, middle, and then left and right at the rear. So it doesn't actually kind of do just one central swath. So not to worry, we'll get the windrower out, windrow this before we set up the forage wagon. Okay, so I've done exactly the same in terms of generating the course for the windrower, and again I'm going to go and save this, and this one will be really important because this is going to be the course that the forage wagon will have to replicate or have to take. So when I come to do the forage wagon, I will load this course as well. So we're going to call that windrower 8.6 meters. There you go, you can see it in the course interaction again, and I just need to select the first waypoint, and I can press the little start button and he can get underway, and then we'll get the forage wagon sorted out, which is kind of the most important thing really, and then of course I've got to be able to link in the forage wagon with the auto drive course to make sure that he goes back to that bunker silo, empties out, and then comes back down to the field again. Right, well I'm going to leave these two to crack on doing a little bit of work in this grass field to get this kind of almost complete, and then I'll come back to the forage wagon in a little while. Okay, so the grass has been cut, the windrower doesn't have too much left to do. Now I've parked the forage wagon here in the bunker silo because this is kind of its start and finish point, so I thought it was an appropriate place to put it. Now the first thing I need to do is go and load that windrower course in Courseplay, so I'm going to Course Manager. You'll remember that we saved that windrower 8.6 meter course in the field 10 folder, so there it is. So I'm now going to load this, and I'm going to hit the spacebar or click on Activate to make sure that I've loaded that course for the forage wagon, and that's really important because the forage wagon has got to follow that exact same course. Now once I've done that, the next thing I need to do is go back into Autodrive, so I'm going to press my Alt and my 0 button just to kind of bring up the menu, and then I need to click on this little icon that's just next to the Start button down in the bottom left hand corner, and I need to select Pick Up and Deliver. So we're going to pick up from field 10, we're going to deliver to the silage clamp cows, and the product we've got on board is going to be grass. Now the next most important thing is I click on this little Courseplay icon here to be able to link Autodrive to the Courseplay that we've set up in field 10, and then I can hit the Start button, and now the tractor and the forage wagon will trundle off down the road and hopefully turn into the track and head off down to field 10. So connecting those two things in the Autodrive menu together, so the Autodrive course that we've got set up, going to field 10, coming back to the silage clamp, and then specifically selecting that Courseplay button to make sure that when the tractor and trailer gets down to the field, it recognises when it hits the field 10 waypoint that there is a Courseplay course to kind of follow, then hopefully he'll kind of fire up and then start following that Courseplay course. So we will know any second now whether that's going to happen. Hopefully it will, fingers crossed. So what I'll do is I'll just bring the course up again. I'll just hit that little kind of triangle down in the menu there so you can see this. Now, in some respects, it might have been better for me to probably put that little waypoint for field 10 kind of closer to the edge of the track here. So he's going to slow down. He will hit that field 10 waypoint first before he kind of goes off into the Courseplay mode. And you can see the start point for Courseplay is just over there on the left-hand side. So there we go. He's hit that. He's fired up. He's already turned the Forage Wagon on. It's starting to pick up a bit of grass, as you can kind of see. And I think probably because a slight tight bend here, he's going to slightly overshoot the start point for Courseplay, but that's not going to be too much of an issue. But he's found the first headland route, and now he's happily going to follow that course round the headland and carry on doing his work. So that's really good. So that first part of it has worked all okay, and he's cracking on, starting to collect this grass. Now this is really another kind of big improvement for Courseplay. I can't recall ever being able to do anything like this in FS19, so a new kind of function really within Courseplay, which is really good. Very, very similar to the baler. If you saw my Courseplay kind of harvesting video that I did recently, where the baler sort of follows the combine, or a windrow again, if that's the way it's kind of been set up. So a really good kind of added function that enables you to do an awful lot more work automatically. Okay, so that's good. I guess the next part of the equation is that when he becomes full, unlike a baler that just kind of dispatches their bales as they go around, he's going to fill up at some point. At that point, he needs to recognise that he needs to stop working in the field and then disappear off up to the silage bunker. So we'll check that out in a second. Okay, so he's gone back round. He started on the second headland there, and I've set the fill point to 95%. We just come past 90%. So once he hits 95%, hopefully he will then stop, and instead of just kind of stopping and waiting in the field, he will then recognise that he needs to go back into Autodrive. There we go. Little warning has come up to say that the worker has stopped working, tank is full. And instead of stopping in the field, he's now kind of picking up the fact that he needs to go back into the Autodrive course and head back up to the bunker silos. So hopefully he will kind of loop down to the bottom here. I might just kind of put the Autodrive course back up as well, just so you can kind of see that. And I think thinking about it, now that I did create that kind of loop in the field, he's probably going to pick up on that loop. It might have been best that I just sort of created a waypoint on the edge of the grass field just off the track, and then sort of done a stop point and then a start point going away from that waypoint. So you can see here he's kind of hunting for the field 10 waypoint, and as soon as he's picked that up, he'll kind of go off on that loop and head back up to the farm. Okay, perfect. There he goes. Great, we'll catch up once he gets closer to the farm. Okay, so assuming I have connected all the dots correctly, he should turn left here. That's good. And he will link up briefly with the very initial course that I kind of created, and then we get a little bit further down closer to the silo. He should then split off slightly onto that separate course that I created that reverses back into the bunker silo. So slowing down now, he's obviously found that course, taking it nice and kind of steady, just going down the hill here, and then hopefully in about 2 or 3 kind of nodes time, he should get to the point where he will stop and start reversing. And you probably can't make it out, but the forward courses have got a sort of a fairly light green colour, and the reverse course has got a sort of fairly pale blue colour. So reversing like to come on, it's reversing back up the course. I have speeded this up a little bit as well, because it does do it sort of fairly steadily and fairly slowly, but hopefully he will make his way back round here nice and neat and tidy, and then we will see whether I have kind of positioned that waypoint in the bunker silo in the kind of correct position in order for him to be able to kind of tip quite nicely into the back of the silo. I don't want it to be right on the back wall. And the beauty about this as well is that as it starts to sort of fill up, he will sort of then gradually kind of nudge himself forward every time he comes and brings another kind of load back. So hopefully stop there, just sort of past the edge there, and you can see that the grass is going to sort of push back nicely against the back wall. So that's good. And as soon as he's started or finished tipping, I should say, and the tailgate is closed, and off he goes back down to the field. So that's really good. So that's sort of a complete loop now that we've completed, from starting in the bunker silo, going down to the field, collecting the grass in the forage wagon, becoming full, recognising that, and going back into the auto drive course and going all the way back up to the bunker silo, emptying out, and then carrying on his way. Now that we've kind of set up everything correctly, he should just carry on doing this right the way through until the field has completed and finished. Now that he's returned down to field 10, he's obviously going to hunt for that waypoint, and then as soon as he's found it, he should trundle off, hopefully, and pick up where he kind of sort of stopped a little bit earlier. So there we go, he's picking up Courseplay again. Not sure if he's got distracted there slightly, or he's just kind of heading in a straight line. Hopefully he will break off. There we go, yeah, he's heading up to that point where he kind of finished on the second headland, and hopefully then he will kind of carry on doing this. So as I mentioned beforehand, that's a complete loop, sort of from start to finish, going back to the field and carrying on with his work. So that will just kind of keep repeating now. So really useful. I think this addition to Courseplay has certainly made a big difference, and obviously being able to tie into auto drive as well, creating that course that takes you up to your bunker silo, being able to kind of reverse into I guess a closed pit there rather than the drive-through, is also really useful as well. So that's it for the video. I hope you found that interesting and informative, and hopefully you'll be able to kind of get something like this set up yourself. If you haven't done auto drive beforehand, then like I said beforehand, go and check that video out by the FarmSim guy. It'll certainly get you started, and then my sort of kind of best recommendation really would be just to kind of get a new game save and just go and have a play around with it and see how you get on. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really does help the channel, and if you haven't already subscribed, then it'd be great if you could do so. And if you've got any questions, of course, then don't forget to leave them down below in the comments section, and I will try and answer them as best as I can. So take care, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, stay safe, enjoy your farming, and I will catch up with you very soon. Cheers, bye for now.